I remember the day I left home like it was etched into my bones, so clear that every detail still feels sharp, even years later. My family's voices echoed behind me, a chorus of disbelief and contempt. They told me I was dreaming too big, that I was wasting my life chasing some foolish ideal. "You're an embarrassment," my father said, his face twisted with frustration. "You'll never make it. Stop pretending you're special." And I believed it at first. I was 25, fresh out of university. I wanted to use biotechnology to heal our planet, to develop sustainable solutions that could reverse the damage humans had inflicted. I poured everything into it, late nights, experiments, hopes, and when I finally cracked a breakthrough, I thought I had finally proved them wrong. But the betrayal came swiftly. In a cutthroat biotech firm, my discovery on gene therapy was discredited by jealous colleagues. Rumors spread, my reputation was tarnished, and I was branded an idealist with no real-world practicality. My colleagues mocked my dreams, calling them unrealistic, impossible, and a waste of time. My family, hearing only the whispers of failure, reinforced that belief. "You're chasing fairy tales," my mother said, eyes filled with worry. "You're throwing your life away on nonsense." I felt crushed, humiliated, and angry. But beneath that pain, there was a flicker of something else, an unbreakable resolve. I couldn't let their words define me. That betrayal, that mockery, became the fuel for my next chapter. I abandoned the biotech world and pivoted into environmental bioengineering. I knew I had to prove not just to my family, but to myself that my vision was valid. I threw myself into developing living biofilters made from algae, tiny, resilient organisms capable of absorbing urban pollutants and revitalizing degraded ecosystems. It was a gamble that many ridiculed. "That's too idealistic," they sneered. "Algae won't save cities. It's just a bunch of pond scum." But I pressed on, driven by a deeper purpose. I worked tirelessly, often alone, in makeshift labs, testing, adjusting, fighting to make my ideas tangible. It was brutal, setbacks, failures, moments where I doubted everything. I faced skepticism from everyone I knew, even from colleagues who openly mocked my quaint idea of using algae to clean entire cityscapes. And yet, slowly, something remarkable happened. My biofilters proved effective. Urban areas I had worked on transformed. Air quality improved, green patches sprouted where concrete once reigned, and communities began to see hope where despair had settled. Cities, once choking on pollution, started to breathe again. Undeniable. Years later, I returned to my hometown, not as the failed dreamer they once mocked, but as someone who had defied every expectation. I stood at the edge of a barren lot, now transformed into a lush, thriving ecosystem, a living testament to resilience and innovation. The same family who had dismissed me now watched in stunned silence as I activated a biofilter system I had designed, releasing a cascade of clean, fresh air into the neighborhood. Their faces were a mixture of shock, awe, and uncomfortable realization. My father's jaw tightened, and my mother's eyes widened as they saw the vibrant greenery I had helped create. My siblings, who had once called me naive, looked on as I explained how these biofilters could purify entire city blocks, restore barren lands, and combat climate change. Then I turned to them. I saw the regret, no, the remorse in their eyes, and I knew in that moment that everything I had endured was worth it. Their mockery had fueled my fury, but it also forged my resilience. I had become what I always believed I could be, an innovator, a healer of the earth, a testament to perseverance. You see, I said softly but with conviction, I didn't do this to prove you wrong. I did it because I knew there was a better way. I believed in something bigger than all of us, something that couldn't be dismissed, no matter how loud the doubts. And now, look at what we've built. You all doubted me, your words tried to break me, but I used that pain as the foundation for something real, something lasting. The silence stretched, heavy with unspoken truths. My family faced the undeniable truth of what I had become, a person who refused to be crushed by rejection, who turned betrayal into purpose and failure into triumph. As I watched their faces soften, I realized something profound. The greatest victories aren't just about success. They're about transformation, about turning the hurt, the mockery, and the doubts into a force for good. That's the real power of resilience. And as I left that day, I carried with me a quiet understanding. The universe has a way of balancing the ledger. Every hurt, every insult, every moment of despair was a debt I paid, one that was paid back in full, with interest, by the beauty I helped create and the hope I brought back to my community. Now, I stand on the rooftop of a building, looking out over a city that's starting to breathe again. I see the winds carrying fresh air, the green shoots pushing through cracked pavement, and I think about all the times I was dismissed and mocked. I think about the betrayal that nearly broke me and how it became the catalyst for my greatest achievement. And I realize with utter clarity that the universe keeps a ledger, one that balances every act, every word, every moment of pain. And in the end, the truth will always find a way to shine through. I am proof of that.